Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at Kentucky Derby contender, the undefeated Magnum Moon, going out for trainer Todd Pletcher. After Magnum Moon won his career debut at Gulfstream Park, Mike, you and I had one of our many conversations regarding the newly turned 3-year-olds, and you said, I kind of like this Magnum Moon a little bit, and you have just made a 180-degree change as this horse's reputation has grown, as he's become a multiple graded stakes winner, as he's become a grade 1 winner, as he's become one of the favorites for the Derby. Somehow you've soured on this horse. Explain.
Yeah, if you're not a contrarian, you're nothing in this game. Listen, I don't know. I do like Magnum Moon as a horse. I think he's a really good horse. I just happen not to like him as a Kentucky Derby horse. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm right or wrong about that. Is there anything to knock about his first 4 starts? Not really. He's won every one of his 4 starts very easily on the racetrack. I'm just starting to wonder, how good he is, how far he wants to go, and whether he really fits a race like the Derby all that well.
The horse has won with a variety of running styles, mid-pack in his non-winners of one other than win against hopelessly overmatched horses. Slightly closer to the pace in the Rebel, and then Louis Saez didn't really take any chances last time out of the Arkansas Derby. Let's take a look at the Arkansas Derby, and it was a good ride for many reasons. You want to put the best horse on the lead when there's not a lot of other pace, but also, boy, this pace was just easy for him. Does it bother you how he's drifting in the stretch, or are you more concerned that he just had an easy situation, an easy race flow?
I suppose that you could just look at this and say, well, he had this race well in hand. He's sort of goofing off a little bit. I don't like this. I don't like this drifting out through the stretch this badly. I thought he did sort of the same thing in the Rebel before that. He started to get a little drifty in the stretch. I don't like that about him, especially as he's going to try and stretch out again in the Kentucky Derby. And he just had, you can't have a better trip than he had when he won the Arkansas Derby. The pace wasn't fast. They let him have the lead, and they did not try and take it from him. They didn't even try and press him. Quip, who looked like he had, plenty of horse, he was just sitting there. He did not want to challenge this horse on the lead, so this horse just fairly walked. And then he took over in the stretch, and he did what he was supposed to do. He won off, and he won it easily. I just wasn't that impressed with his win.
So when you see a horse drift like that, are you concerned that maybe it could be a distance thing?
Yeah, I feel like if it's not some kind of physical issue, problem, then it's that this horse just may not want that kind of a distance.
How much does it impress you, if at all, that he has won over 3 different tracks? Shipping doesn't seem to bother him. Again, the versatile running style. Where do you see him placed in the Derby? Again, we're assuming all these horses are going to break well, and all these horses are going to be okay going into the first quarter mile. It's never that easy with 20 horses trying to get as close to the rail as possible. Post position's obviously very important in the Derby. You don't want to be down on the rail. Let's say Magnum Moon gets a fair post, a fair break. Where is he going to be?
I think he's going to be sort of mid-pack in the race. I don't think he's going to be first flight, but maybe he will be. We'll see what happens. I sort of feel like, and I feel like Pletcher maybe tipped his hand with that in his second career start when he sort of made sure, against a bunch of horses he couldn't possibly lose to, he made sure that Louis Saez kept him over. And he kept him in behind those horses, I don't know, for a good, almost a full mile before he took them clear and let him win. I feel like Pletcher sort of wanted to make sure that could happen, because I don't think this horse is going to be a big pace presence in Kentucky. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know, Dan. I like him. I feel like I'm going to like him a lot more when they eventually cut him back.
In the Justify Derby contender profile we did, you sort of debunked the whole Curse of Apollo myth. Everyone is talking about that with Justify. No one's talking about it as much with Magnum Moon, but it is true. Magnum Moon did not make his career debut until January the 13th. That means he has no 2-year-old racing experience, and that puts him under the shadow of Apollo. But that does not bother you.
It means nothing to me.
Wow.
Does it mean something to you?
Not that much. 6 furlongs to 1.1 miles within a 4-race span is pretty impressive in 3 months. He's done a lot of good things, Magnum Moon. I think he's a strong contender in the Kentucky Derby with the versatile running styles. It all comes down to price and how he's going to be bet. As you and I said, we're really not sure how it's going to be bet. Other than Justify will be the favorite, the question is, who's the second choice? Is it Mendelssohn? He's getting a lot of support. Is it Magnum Moon? Is it Audible? Is it Bolt d'Oro? Is it Good Magic?
There are a lot of ways to go, right? From 2 to 5 or 6 or 7. There's a lot of ways to go as to who. They're probably all going to take maybe a similar amount of money. He's one of the ones, though. He just happens to be one of the ones. Listen, you can't like them all, and he's one of the ones that, as a shorter price, I just have no interest in.
But he's never lost. He's done nothing wrong in 4 starts, and he's in the capable hands of defending Kentucky Derby winner trainer Todd Pletcher. That's the undefeated Magnum Moon, getting set for the first Saturday in May.